last Sunday, and calf injuries are typically slow to heal, particularly for a lineman who's on his toes, pushing against big bodies. Also, right tackle DJ Fluker suffered a concussion in practice Wednesday, but he's been cleared to play and will start tonight. As for the Patriots, linebacker Dante Hightower is out. He is the defensive signal caller, so tonight Jamie Collins will take on that role. And finally, Al, this entire field was replaced Sunday and Monday and then covered by tarp for a few days because of rain. I spoke with Chargers kicker Nick Novak, who said the turf is in good shape and the grass is thick. We'll see how it holds up under all these 300-pound bodies, Al.
All right, thank you, Michelle. It's not fog, by the way. A lot of pyro before the game, so the smoke's still clearing. Mike McCoy in his second season, the youngest head coach in the league. He's 17 days younger than Mike Tomlin, already in his 8th season. And Bill Belichick in his 15th season as the head coach of the New England Patriots, has guided them to 3 Super Bowl wins and 2 other appearances in the Super Bowl. New England won the toss, as Belichick is prone to do almost every time he does win the toss. He has deferred. Steven Gostkowski to kick off. Chris Davis, a rookie with a pretty good average of 25.8 to run it back. So here we go, the month of December in the National Football League, with Davis downing it in the end zone. Chargers start from the 20. Let's take a look at their starters.
Phillip Rivers, NC State.
Brian Matthews, Fresno State. Malcolm Floyd, Wyoming.
Keenan Allen, California Golden Bears.
Eddie Royal, Virginia Tech. Antonio Gates, Detroit Central High School.
King Dunlap, Unibears.
Chad Reinhardt, Northern Iowa.
Chris Watt, Notre Dame.
Johnny Troutman, Penn State.
DJ Fluger, Alabama, Roll Tide.
Well, Michelle talked about what was going on at center with this team. At least as far as the guards and the tackles are concerned, they've had the same group at those positions since opening day. Gates sets up in the slot to the left side, and Rivers will throw deep down the left sideline and incomplete, intended for Eddie Royal, covered there by Kyle Arrington. And the San Diego Chargers, much like Peyton Manning, what he does in Denver, they run a no huddle, but very often Rivers checks the defense, he'll look him over, and he can take that play clock all the way down.
Yeah, he can speed it up, he can slow it down, do whatever he wants to do. And tonight, going against Jamie Collins, the new defensive signal caller, it is going to be an interesting match. The veteran against a first-timer with that role.
So case in point right here, they snap it with 10 on the play clock. Matthews to the outside. And the guy who missed 7 games because of a sprained knee picks up 5. And let's take a look at the New England defense.
Rob Ninkovich, Purdue. Vince Wilfork, Hurricanes.
Chris Jones, Bowling Green State.
Dominique Easley, Florida.
Jonathan Casillas, University of Wisconsin.
Jamie Collins, Southern Miss.
Terrell Reeves, Pitt.
Patrick Chung, the Ducks.
Kevin McCourty, Rutgers.
Brandon Browner, Oregon State.
Kyle Arrington, Glen Park High School.
2 outstanding corners, of course, in Reeves and Browner. They'll have their hands full tonight. The Chargers with some good complementary receivers. Right now, trips a bunch to the right side. Rivers hangs in, drops it up underneath. This is Donald Brown. And that's the game's first down as Brown gets bumped out of bounds and a flag is thrown. McCoy goes over to pat him on the back. The flag is thrown, and Deron Harmon came over and gave him a late shot, and that should cost New England 15. Bill Levy is the referee tonight.
There's no foul for face masks. First down.
All right. It won't cost them 15 as they wave it off after they threw the flag. Here it is again.
You get all the attention on the outside with that bunch formation, and then just the back coming out of the backfield. Donald Brown that time picking up the first down.
I tell you what, it might not have been a face mask, but that's a late hit.
The tone has been set early. This is a big game. You know, this is one of those games where typically the Patriots come in and just crush your hopes, and they've done it so many times during the month of December, but Rivers is ready to go for this one.
Now Matthews through the middle. Nice hole, and Matthews picks up a first down. Taking it to the 50-yard line. He makes a big difference, missing 7 games with a sprained knee. Brandon Oliver was doing a lot of the work. Donald Brown, they were not only they were mixing and matching centers, but running backs as well.
Here's the guy you got to get handled up front. Little double team from Johnny Troutman down on Vince Wilfork. If they're going to win this game tonight, they have to control Wilfork.
And to the ground again with Matthews, who was their #1 draft choice out of Fresno State in 2010. That's a gain of 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 for San Diego.
You know, Ryan Matthews last year ran for over 1,200 yards, had a great year, has had some knee injuries this season, missed 7 games. A couple of weeks ago had 105 yards against the Rams, and everybody said, oh, he's all the way back. Truth is, tonight is about as close to 100% as he's been.
4.6 average. On his 66 carries, they move him back into the backfield now to flank Rivers on a 2nd down and 8. Play action. Ton of time. Great protection. All night. And then finally underneath, he has to dump it off here. That's Ladarius Green, the huge tight end at 6'6" and 240 pounds. Patrick Chung comes up to make the tackle.
Good job by Rivers here, realizing just a 3-man rush. Just like we saw with Aaron Rodgers last week. Just take your time, let it all settle down. One thing about zone defenses is they really get stretched whenever the quarterback's holding the ball, so there'll be some big gaping holes inside if he gets that much time.
Well, he had 8 seconds, but could only turn it into a gain of 4. Here's the secondary did its work in the zone coverage on 3rd and 4. Rivers under pressure, and he's going to get sacked. Coming through the middle is Jamie Collins. Michelle talking about him. He's going to be the signal caller with Hightower out tonight. The calls go into him, and he bursts through the middle for a sack.
Well, just a mistake here is Jamie Collins. They just are not going to pick it up. Reinhardt goes out. Chris Watt, the center, goes the other way. You can't leave the A-gap that wide open. That's looked like somebody hit the garage door opener there.
Now Mike Cyphers in his 12th season as the San Diego punter. Julian Edelman will not collect it. He's going to let it go. He tried to fake San Diego into thinking he was going to grab it, and instead it takes a great bounce for the Chargers. Bounces back to the 7-yard line, and that's where Brady will begin. New England with the ball early in the first. Chargers and Patriots. They'll play 60 events for local school children in San Diego and Boston earlier this season, encouraging them to be active for 60 minutes a day. Patriots, their first play from their own 7-yard line will be a run, and that will go nowhere, and that is LeGarrette Blount. Played with them last year, then went to Pittsburgh and talked and walked his way out of Pittsburgh and comes back to New England. So Brady, 25 more TD passes, 6 straight years, and that streak started after the year in which he tore up his knee on opening day and missed the rest of the season. There's Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator, who went to Denver for about a year and a half as the head coach. Fired there. Story about that with Mike McCoy as well. He brought McCoy in. Detail that later as Brady throws and the pass is incomplete. Intended for Gronkowski. It'll be 3rd and 12. Let's take a look at the Pat starters.
Tom Brady, Michigan.
LeGarrette Blount, Taylor County High School.
Julian Edelman, Kent State.
JoJo LaFell, LSU.
Rob Gronkowski, Arizona.
Michael Holm, now Newey, Illinois.
Nate Solder, Colorado. Dan County, Southeast Missouri.
Brian Stork, Florida State.
Ryan Lindell, Fresno State.
Sebastian Ballmer, University of Houston.
Well, we talked about the Chargers and all the centers they have used. Meanwhile, Brian Stork, a rookie out of Florida State, has taken over for New England and helped to solidify that spot. And now Brady moving through the end zone, throwing, and that'll be caught at the 23-yard line. Julian Edelman able to make the grab, and so they convert on a 3rd and 12 for 19 yards.
Nice job by Tom Brady, seeing the inside move by the end of that side and working against Brandon Flowers as Julian Edelman to get them off their own goal line. And who is that? Uh-oh.
So the Chargers with an injury timeout. Corey Leggett. So Leggett walked off. He's over on the bench right now, and his play resumes. Working his way over left guard for a gain of 3 is LeGarrette Blount, and there is Corey Legion, who's their best defensive lineman.
See Ingram coming down hard inside, basically friendly fire getting him. Brady saw that inside move, jumped to the outside and picked up the first down. But Legion is their best player along that defensive line. A 300-pound guy that can move is their leading sacker with only 3.5 sacks. So absolutely essential that he be able to play and get back in there.
Kenny Powell-Poy, number 72 for the moment, is his replacement. And Brady will dump it off. Blunt makes the catch and breaks the tackle, as he does so often. Plenty of yards after contact, whether he catches it or runs with it. Got away from Cavell Connor, and that's a first down for the Patriots.
It's one of the issues that they were really concerned about. Could they get LeGarrette Blount on the ground? The Chargers all season long have had issues with this, missing tackles. That should have been about a 3 or 4 yard gain, instead 1st and 10.
It should have been about a 3rd and 3 instead of first down. Blount again. And Blount will pick up 11 yards, taking the ball almost to the midfield stripe. Another first down for New England.
Got to be careful when they start stacking tight ends over here to this side. You know that they love to run power football, and if this Chargers defense can't hold up, they've got a couple of issues. Donald Butler, their inside linebackers, had a quad injury, and nobody in this secondary over 200 pounds. It's a small secondary. Tough for them to tackle LeGarrette Blount.
Blount listed at 250, and I'll say at least. And there he is again. There's a flag down in the secondary at the 41-yard line.
Illegal use of the hands to the face. Number 56 defense. 5-yard penalty added to the end of the run. Automatic first down.
That is Donald Butler.
Donald Butler right there working against Gronkowski. Hands right up to the face. Illegal. Boy, there was a lot of conversation in San Diego about how do you handle Rob Gronkowski, both in the passing game and the run game.
Blitz coming. Pass gotten off to Shane Vereen. And he's just a little shy of a first down. Let's take a look at the San Diego defense.
Corey Legion, University of Illinois.
Sean Lismore, William & Mary. Kendall Reyes, UConn.
Jarrett Johnson, Alabama.
Manti Te'o, University of Notre Dame.
Cavell Connor, Clemson University. Melvin Ingram, the real USC.
Brandon Flowers, Virginia Tech.
Marcus Gilchrist, Clemson.
Eric Weddle, University of Utah, the real U.
Sharice Wright, University of Southern California.
Now the Patriots, 2nd down and 1. Off play action, pass thrown, and then it is incomplete. Edelman, who is their leading receiver on this drive, he caught his 78th of the season, can't hold that one. It'll be 3rd and 1.
That same 2 tight end set inside right here, and then they go hard play fake and a huge hole in behind because those linebackers have to react up to LeGarrette Blount. Pull that ball out. Pretty easy pitch and catch, unable to connect.
3rd and 1, a little toss to Blount and a ton of room for him. He just puts that shoulder down and takes the ball all the way to the 22-yard line. Blount, normally a guy who runs inside the tackles, almost 80% of his carries, 4 out of 5, 5.1 yards per carry. After contact, almost 3.5. Highest in the league by a lot. So, and you can see him on this first drive and exactly what he is able to do with a huge body. So now first down at the 22-yard line. Give the ball to Jonas Gray. And the last time we saw Gray 3 weeks ago on Sunday Night Football, he ran for over 200 yards. He scored 4 touchdowns. He had been on the practice squad. He made the cover of Sports Illustrated, and then he overslept and was late for practice. So they got Blount in the interim from Pittsburgh, and the next thing you know, Gray doesn't play the next game against Detroit and carries once last week.
And the alarm clock stock has all gone through the roof. He's bottom all.
2nd down and 3 from the 15. And he's able to move forward after the initial contact. Jarrett Johnson makes the tackle. And once again, the Patriots face a 3rd and 1. Meanwhile, the Chargers, Eric Weddle has the helmet with the speaker in it. There's the green dot there. We were trying to think the other day, and we couldn't think of a safety who's had it. It's always a linebacker. But John Pagano, the defensive coordinator, giving it to Weddle after their disaster in Miami prior to the bye. And now on 3rd and short, this is Blunt back in there taking it to the 10-yard line. So this drive began back at the New England 7. And the next play will be the Patriots' 13th. Make it the 14th of the drive.
I'll tell you, you put James Devlin in front of LeGarrette Blunt, it can be nasty trying to play inside linebackers because they're just going to isolate you. And those two guys, Devlin, a former defensive lineman, and Blunt in behind him, it's tough.
Corey Lindsey has come back into the game. And the ball is handed to Blunt going through the middle and takes the ball all the way to the 1-yard line behind a Ryan Wendell block. So Blunt was with him last year. Couldn't make a deal with them, went to Pittsburgh. Here he is again and winds up back in New England.
It's a little trap play, but now you're Marcus Gilchrist at about 195 pounds, and here comes Blunt right down the alley. Nobody really touching him. It's the reason you see Blunt jumping over people. Everybody wants to tackle him around the knees.
15 of the last 17 trips into the red zone, and this one is deflected and incomplete. Turk Williams, the linebacker. But think about Blunt, who comes back. What he did is he walked and talked his way out of Pittsburgh. He walked off the field with a minute to go in the game, and they'd had enough. And he winds up going back to New England. So he was sorry, telling us last night, sorry about what happened there, but who's sorry now?
He was sorry, but not sad, because he had quite the run last year at the end of the season. And he is always the threat here. Even if they just want to go play fake here, because you have him in the backfield, it helps your passing game.
Brady's going to spread it out. It's Gronkowski split all the way to the right. And Brady under pressure, and he's going to get sacked at the 9-yard line. So a big defensive stand for the Chargers, who've been out on the field for almost half the quarter. Melvin Ingram gets the sack.
That's what they've been waiting to see out of that guy for a long time. Injuries galore for Ingram during the course of his career, but what a powerful move that was against Solder. And you see Eric Weddle down the field in a unique style of coverage on Gronkowski.
Hug coverage.
That was a big stand. The Chargers needed that.
Very big. Started their own 7 to the Patriots, got to the 1. This is a 26-yard attempt for Gostowski, and that's blocked. Coming in was a flag, though. That's Sharice Wright, but there's a flag because Flowers got the ball, and forget about all of this. They can carry on all they want, but you've got, when you get that big of a jump, you know what you've got.
Number 29 defense. Half the distance to the goal. Still 4th down.
Still 4th down. Half the distance means the ball goes to the 4-yard line. So when you get that big of a jump, well, there's normally a reason for it.
Yeah, easy to block it when you get an extra step. This crowd loved it for a minute there, didn't they? That sack, though, was big because then he thought of possibly going for it on 4th down, down close, maybe, but not once you were backed up to the 7 here, so they'll just re-kick it.
And this will be a 22-yard attempt for Gostowski, who had a rare miss last week in Green Bay. This drive, 16 plays, 89 yards, great balance, 9 rushes and 7 passes. And now a 22-yard attempt for Gostowski. And that puts New England in front. 3:15 to go in the opening quarter. 3-0 Patriots. Robert Kraft, the chairman and CEO of the Patriots, he's had a busy day. His soccer team, the New England Revolution, played about an hour and a half north of here this afternoon and lost in the MLS final to the LA Galaxy. So hoping for a better result for his football club tonight. Touchback here. Rivers and company going to work from the 20 when we come back to San Diego. Well, the two quarterbacks tonight, NFL history, highest December and January regular season winning percentages. Rivers and Brady. Of course, Tom does it in cold weather normally, and Philip a little better climate, but each guy, no matter where he's playing, has been pretty good as we go down the stretch, and matched up again tonight.
I tell you, the Patriots are battle tested against good quarterbacks here recently, though, aren't they? They have seen the best, and it was only Aaron Rodgers during that streak that got him.
And there they are when they're matched up. Rivers yet to beat Brady, whether in the regular season or in the playoffs. Start from the 20. Ryan Matthews swings to the outside. Gets around the corner, but only briefly. That's a gain of 2. There's a flag down. Brandon Browner up from the left corner to make the tackle.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 39 defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Well, that's nothing new. Brandon Browner is a penalty machine.
He is, and you have to wonder if Belichick's getting a little bit sick of it. I mean, because this is a team that's been known over the years for their discipline. He comes in, he definitely adds a little physical edge, but that is a lot. And you compare it to Darrelle Revis, who's been playing for a long time and almost never gets flagged. It's becoming an issue. It really is.
Well, it's 10 penalties on him now. He missed the first 4 games of the season. He was suspended, and now Rivers dancing around and trying to buy time and throwing incomplete, intended for Antonio Gates, his longtime favorite target. Patrick Chung covering on the play. Gates now in his 12th season.
Again, Rivers had the time. Here's Revis on the outside going against Keenan Allen, their best. And then Patrick Chung, the strong safety at the top, working against Gates, and Gates kind of stopped on the play. Didn't think that Rivers was going to come to him, and then did, and ended up overthrowing it.
Rivers 2 for his first 4, 19 yards, under pressure, throws, hits his receiver on the run. That's Antonio Gates, the one-time basketball player out of Detroit, went to Kent State, picks up a first down to the 50-yard line.
They're showing pressure here, but they bring pressure here and get a shot that time on Rivers. Belichick's going to show him a little bit of his own pressure. It's really been the Chargers who have been known for all that pressure, but Antonio Gates, one thing you don't want to do is get him started, and now with some of the changes on this Patriots defense, you have to see who matches up with him.
Rivers now under center. Here's Matthews, who gets crunched at the 50-yard line. Gain of 1.
Silver Salinga just activated right in here, is going to have a big-time shot on this one. Look at that. He has been out for an extended period of time, comes back and makes his presence known right away.
He had been on IR, designated to return, and so he makes his return tonight and makes his presence felt. Minute and a half to go in the opening quarter. 2nd and 9. 4-man rush. Rivers steps up and then, incomplete. Gates tried to one-hand it and could not hold it in. It'll be 3rd and long.
It's interesting to watch Philip Rivers working with Antonio Gates, because it is not always what they draw on the play card. A lot of times Rivers will just look at Gates and assume when the defensive back is the outside, he's going to break inside, even if the play call is for him to break to the outside. So there is a lot of gamesmanship that goes on between those two longtime veterans that have played a lot of games.
Gates had 9 touchdowns in his first 8 games this season, on a pace for 18, but none since the halfway mark of the year. Play clock at 3. And Rivers will dump it off underneath, and he hits Gates on the run to the 39-yard line. Excuse me, that's Ladarius Green. Ladarius Green, the other tight end, who's as big as Gates, about the same size, 6'6" and 240. They call him Pee-wee.
Yeah, used to be 5'10" at one time. Swing it right down through here, and this is a professional pick play here. Eddie Royal on the other side comes over, and watch him come in and just look and set up right there, and he's looking at him. He's really not thinking, I'm going to get the ball. He just wants to rub off of Jamie Collins there and free up the tight end.
But Gates and Green, talk about a matched pair. Both huge, both won great crossing routes. Here's Brandon Oliver, who had to be the #1 back for a while in the absence of Ryan Matthews, who missed those 7 games, and wears the number worn by Darren Sproles, and a lot of people compare him to Sproles because he's 5'8" and 208.
Not quite Darren Sproles,
correct,
but not a bad young player.
There's Frank Reich, the offensive coordinator, former Buffalo quarterback, and that's going to take us to the second quarter with San Diego on the move. And at the end of 1 here in SoCal, New England 3, San Diego nothing. Sunday Night Football resumes after these messages. The airport here in San Diego, hard by downtown, and now from above into Qualcomm Stadium, where we start the second quarter. Second down and 6 at the 35-yard line. And Phillip Rivers handing the ball off to Matthews. Through the middle he goes. Takes the ball all the way to the 18-yard line. Well, the way this game has started, we've had a ton of offense. Nobody's been able to stop really either team, but only 3 points.
Yeah, we had the one blown protection in there by Chris Watt and Phillip Rivers to stop the first drive by the Chargers, then the sack on the goal line. But other than that, it's been up and down the field pretty good with these 2 great quarterbacks. Maybe what you'd expect.
Sunday Night Football. Close games every week.
There you go, absolutely.
At least for the moment.
And that was my airplane, too.
There you go. From the 18-yard line. On first down, Matthews, and they take him down by the shirt. That's Collins grabbing him. Short game.
You know, Jamie Collins really thrown into a pretty difficult situation here, having to come in and call the signals. Of course, it was Gerard Mayo, who is one of the best signal callers on the defensive side, maybe in the league. Then Dante Hightower took it over, and he was getting pretty good at it. And now all of a sudden they're down to their third. So essentially 3 quarterbacks, if you will, of the defense that they've gone through.
Second and 7. This drive started back at the San Diego 20. Play clock under 5. And Rivers to the end zone, and that's incomplete, intended for Malcolm Floyd. Coverage was tight. Browner is right there. Crowd boos. They want a flag. Third down.
Well, you're going to get some physical action out here now. Anytime Brandon Browner's around, but he does get his hands back off, a little hand on the shoulder, maybe a little grab, and somewhere Pete Carroll may be smiling just a little bit. He's not the fastest guy in the world, Browner, but he is a guy that knows how to play the game, and that time he got away with the game.
He's 6'4". Floyd is 6'5". NBA matchup on the outside. Play clock at 2. They just do get it off on a 3rd and 7. And Rivers throwing and diving forward is Floyd. Touchdown. So Floyd was set to the left on the prior play with Browner. Then he goes to the right and into the corner of the end zone. 15 yards and a San Diego touchdown.
Take a look, make sure, does he hold on, maintain possession, does it move? That looks pretty good to me. Al, what do you think?
I think it stays. Obviously, they review it as they do all scoring plays. Goes down, cradles it, inbounds.
As always, you can micromanage these things to death. Right at the very end, there's a little bit of that, but that's not enough. That one's going to stand. I think the game plan is pretty clear, don't you? They're going to stay away from Revis and go check out Brandon Browner in this one.
And that's what they've done. Rivers, if it holds, will be 5 of 9 for 57, so that's an 80-yard drive. And the touchdown is good, and Novak now for the extra point. And so the Chargers answer that long New England drive, which ended with 3, with 7 of their own. 7-3 Chargers. The Chargers moved into this stadium, then known as San Diego Stadium, then Jack Murphy Stadium, now Qualcomm, in 1967. 367th regular season game, most by one team in any stadium. Dean Spanos, the Spanos family has owned this team since the mid-'80s. Dean, the CEO, chairman of the board. And like a lot of folks in San Diego, some don't want a stadium, they don't want to spend the money. But Dean right now absolutely feeling that the team needs a new facility as Amendola brings the ball back to the 25. Stadium looks great from the air, but you walk underneath it, you feel like you're in the ruins.
And there are options now.
Right. '73rd anniversary of Pearl Harbor, USS Midway Museum today here in San Diego. Tremendous military presence. They had Pearl Harbor survivors aged 91 through 102 in attendance today here in San Diego.
That is really cool.
New England, this is their second drive. First one, they got as far as the 1 and had to back off and settle for a field goal. Brady guns it over the middle, and it's caught for a gain of 25 by Brandon LaFell. There's been a terrific pickup. He was just another guy in Carolina the last couple of years. They picked him up, and he's really emerged.
Well, the protection was perfect here, and I tell you, this Brandon LaFell, he's a guy that makes the difficult catches look so easy. Why? This is an overhand catch below the waist, never breaks stride, and the Kansas City game was the time that Tom Brady said, I saw him break a couple of tackles and go for a touchdown. This guy's way better in pads than he is practicing in shorts.
That was his 54th catch, and now it takes a passel of powder blue shirts to knock down LeGarrette Blount as he takes the handoff.
I tell you what, tonight Melvin Ingram is playing as well as I have ever seen him. Watch what he does to Nate Solder here. He takes his head and it snaps back like a George Foreman punch or something. That is a shot. Already has the big sack earlier. Woo! He's rolling tonight.
Second and 10. Hey, the Chargers used probably as many players as any team in the league. They must have changed 8 guys on that last changeover from the 1st and 10 to a 2nd and 10. And they can do that if Brady doesn't go hurry up. And now Brady to the outside. Edelman makes the catch, and he gets spun down inbounds by Brandon Flowers. Well, Edelman, a guy who, when he came to the team, picked in the 7th round, they thought he'd be a spot guy, slot guy, Wes Welker type of guy, and he's emerged. We asked Tom Brady about 3 weeks ago, what'd you think? What, you think you'd ever get this much out of the guy? He said, no. He said, but then I just saw it develop, and the way he blossomed and flourished, and right now he's on a pace to catch 100 passes this season.
3rd down, he is the man along with Gronkowski. Those two have just converted a lot of 3rd downs.
3rd and 3, and Brady gets it off, and then the ball is loose, and it is picked up and run back by San Diego after it is ruled as a completion, and Darryl Stuckey runs it in for the touchdown.
Now the question, did he put his knee on the ground? Was he touched? Was it a catch?
Well, it's a turnover, so Belichick does not have to challenge. It's a turnover automatically reviewed. LaFell goes down. I don't think he got his knee down.
Ball's out. I don't think he was down or touched by LaFell.
Hit by Jaleel Adai. And then Darryl Stuckey, who's a special teams maven and reserve defensive back, is the guy who's going to run it all the way in for the touchdown.
And you do see Stuckey's knee on the ground, but then he gets back up, I think, before LaFell touches him down.
Well, they're going to look to see, number 1, is it a catch? And number 2, what about Stuckey's knee?
I don't think there's any doubt it was a catch. Plenty of stuff there, plenty of action. Now he's going down. I don't think there's any contact. Now the knee comes up, and now I think LaFell reaches for him. I think we've got a touchdown.
Yep. Whole thing stands. It's confirmed in New York. So Park Avenue sends the word out to San Diego. Touchdown Chargers. Nick Novak for the point after. And a little less than 4 minutes into the 2nd quarter, the San Diego Chargers lead the New England Patriots 14-3. Back we come to San Diego. Gorgeous day. Bright sunshine. You went swimming today, didn't you?
I did. It was gorgeous.
Ocean or pool?
It was 2 chicken pools.
From the 9-yard line, it's a short kickoff, and it's Matthew Slater, their special teams maven, who runs it back to the 26. You go back to 0-1 when Brady became the starting quarterback, 35-8 after a loss, 85 TDs and 22 picks. All of the quarterbacks still 28-29 going back, and that includes his days with the Cleveland Browns.
All right, let's see if the Patriots now get into their game plan. They want to get a little bit after Sharice Wright, the corner, Marcus Gilchrist, the safety. And so far, they just keep beating themselves.
You brought that up because they're playing this game after a loss last week in Green Bay. That's a gain of close to 8 to Edelman making the catch over the middle. Patriots, who get off to a slow start this season, but in the second quarter, 100 more points than the opposition through 12 games. But tonight, 0-14 with Gronkowski making the catch, and there he goes all the way to the 31-yard line.
Sometimes you get a little too sneaky on defense. Here's Dwight Freeney. He's going to drop off and try and cover Gronkowski. They brought the pressure from the other side. In order to compensate, they've got to drop off Freeney, thinking that would catch him off guard. Did not.
And Brady going quick pace now. Spreads it out, empty backfield. San Diego only rushes 3. Brady throws, and that's incomplete. Down the sideline intended for the tight end Tim Wright, who came over in a trade with Tampa Bay. It'll be second down and 10.
Well, if you want to slow down a superstar like Rob Gronkowski, okay, there's one, and then there's 2, and Weddle's going to be right there behind him. So go ahead, Gronk, make a big play. We're going to start wearing you out.
Second and 10. Again, Brady with the empty backfield. And time throws a bullet that's incomplete. Eric Weddle covering Gronkowski on that play. There is a flag.
Prior to the pass, holding, number 37 defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Throwing that one on a guy who forced the fumble on New England's last drive.
Well, it might have been on Weddle because Gronkowski was screaming out the back end of that thing. Weddle knows he's got his hands full. He said, I know I'm not going to be able to handle Gronkowski on all occasions, but I've got to win my fair share of those jump ball 50-50 situations.
From the 26, that's incomplete. That's LaFell down the left sideline. Sharice Wright hanging with him. It'll be second down and 10.
Yeah, that's what they're going to get to here eventually. Sharice Wright is the guy that has come in and taken over for the rookie Jason Verrett, who they think is going to be a star. Brandon Flowers on the other side has been sensational. Picked him up after he was let go by the Kansas City Chiefs, and he's been one of their best players. So it'll be right that they go after it in single coverage.
Second and 10. Brady flings it to the outside. LaFell makes the catch this time. Just ran a little out route against Wright, and that's a first down for New England.
Well, you throw one down the field, and what does the corners tend to do this time? Sharice Wright, we just talked about him. You back up a little bit, right? You give that guy a little space. Brady sees it and picks up the first down.
Brady going all empty backfield on this drive. And he throws that one to the outside, and that's Danny Amendola, who gets taken down to the 11-yard line by Marcus Gilchrist.
And that's the interesting part about this team, is that they have safeties that basically are their slot corners. You have Eric Weddle and Marcus Gilchrist who come down and play the slot corners, which I've never seen, frankly.
Now on the second and 6, that pass is knocked down, and that's Sharice Wright getting a hand in, intended for LaFell. It'll be third down and 6.
There's a nice play. What you see now are all these corners on the outside. You run a slant. They used to try and come over the top. Now they come underneath. Perfectly played that time by Wright. If you can make the Patriots kick field goals, they did it once, really enhance your chances of beating this team.
3rd and 6. Now Brady will huddle. This whole drive has been quick-paced and basically empty backfields. They empty it again here. And they'll go 5 wide, and San Diego says we'll take a timeout. They saw the way they lined up. San Diego likes to make a lot of changes, especially defensively, sometimes bringing as many as 8 different guys into the game under the defensive coordinator, John Pagano. As you look at McCoy, talked about the fact he's the youngest coach in the league at 42. The second youngest is Mike Tomlin, who's like 17 days older, but of course has been in the league for 8 years, won a Super Bowl and went to another. McCoy, long time under John Fox in Carolina. Then, interestingly enough, when Josh McDaniels, now the New England offensive coordinator, was the head coach at Denver, he brought McCoy to Denver. McDaniels got fired, but then who winds up in Denver but his old buddy John Fox?
Saved him twice, didn't he?
Saved him twice.
He really did. My favorite story he told was when he was at Long Beach State playing for George Allen. He said if George Allen said, "Oh, for Christ's sake," that means we're all in trouble. That was as bad as it got for George Allen.
So McCoy, who was a college quarterback, played at Utah after Long Beach State, called the timeout. 3rd down and 6 now for the Pats. Shane Vereen is in the backfield. And Brady over the middle, and that's caught, and that's Edelman who somehow finds the open spot. Enough for a 1st down. It'll be 1st and goal.
You know, so far tonight, remember this guy, Dwight Freeney, coming in with the old spin move? Nate Solder said, whoa, that is the 2nd time now I've seen Nate Solder get knocked down on the rush, so they're after him. But that's just pitch and catch for those two guys. So many 3rd down conversions, and they make it look so easy.
Blunt back in the game now. Freeney in his 13th year, his first 11 in Indianapolis. To Blunt, and that's Ingram who pops him as he gets to the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and goal with 8.5 to go.
He goes right around Michael Omenauanui. Just makes him look bad. Little fake inside, back around. This is what they've been waiting to see. So many injuries for Melvin Ingram. Out again this year for 5 games with a bad hip. But when they drafted him, this was the kind of player they were expecting. He played this way in college, and now we're starting to see a little bit of what he did at South Carolina here.
Tough enough to run around Omenauanui's name on the back of his jersey.
I've run around it a few times.
2nd and goal from the 4. 3 receivers set to the right. Brady looks to the middle and over the middle again, and that is incomplete. Edelman at the 1-yard line. He wants to know where the flag is. There is none. 3rd and goal.
Big time protection here, and you see Andrew Gatchkar right there in the middle of your screen, back from injury himself. And he comes in just in the nick of time, and really Brady's lucky on that one. Anytime a ball pops straight up in the air like that with that many people around in the goal line, usually that one gets picked off.
3rd and goal. This is the 11th play of the drive. 9 of the first 10 have been passes. Play clock is to 4. Brady checking off at the line, claps his hands. Now he has to take a timeout, otherwise they would have had a delay of game. So Brian Stork, the rookie center, despite the clap, couldn't get it away. Brady alertly calls for the timeout. It'll be 3rd and goal. Chargers have been so streaky, lost a tough one on opening night at Arizona. Then weeks 2 through 6, they won all 5 games. Average margin 29-15. And then they had a meltdown weeks 7 through 9, capped off by a 37-0 thrashing in Miami, followed by a bye week, and then they got it together. They won their last 3 games, all by 7 or fewer points, and every one of them has gone down to the wire.
Well, this one's looking like it might go down the wire too. A couple of new options here for Tom Brady. You know about Gronkowski, Shane Vereen coming out of the backfield. But this Tim Wright now has 3 touchdowns in the last 3 games. See if he's in here. He's in the slot down at the bottom. Right there, he has become the new factor in goal line and short yardage.
Vereen comes into the backfield. Brady under pressure, gets it away, and it's almost intercepted. Mateo almost picked it off. And you can see his reaction, intended for Vereen, who came out of the backfield, but again, the Chargers are able to hold them to a field goal attempt.
And Teo has really come in here and has kind of been more of the passing situation type of player. Of course, you remember finishing second in the Heisman Trophy balloting, making plays just like that for Notre Dame game after game. Floyd Freeney with that spin move is really giving Nate Solder some problems.
22-yard attempt for Gostowski is inside the right upright. So again, long drive, but it bogs down. 7.5 to go to the half. 14-6 San Diego. Punt, pass, and kick before the game here in San Diego.
I always think of Andy Reid. Remember that shot at him? He was like 13, and he looked like he looks now out there doing the punt, pass, and kick.
The guys rolled it in during the Kansas City, Arizona game. That's Chris Davis downing it in the end zone. Well, Michelle started the night by telling us about the centers. You had Nick Hardwick, outstanding center, but then he got hurt. And then Rich Ornberger came in, and he was the guy in the middle. Then Doug Legursky came in when Ornberger went down. Then Rich comes back week 6 to 11, gets hurt again. Chris Watt comes in, and then he went out for a while last week, and they almost went to a fifth center. Would have been Trevor Robinson tonight, but Trevor, for the moment, just enjoying the view from the bench. And Mike McCoy hopes it stays that way. Rivers 5 for his first 9, 57 yards. They run a draw. And there's Matthews trying to slip his way over left guard for a gain of 3.
Well, Chris Watt has the duty now as the center. He's got to wake up at 5:30 in the morning with Phillip Rivers and go over all the game plans. Rivers and Nick Hardwick forever could just communicate so effortlessly. But I tell you, Chris Watt last week, I was stunned. He never played center that I know about, certainly didn't at Notre Dame, and played a terrific game against the Ravens.
2nd and 8. Huge win for San Diego last week, erasing a late deficit, beating the Ravens by 1. They dump it off over the middle. And look out, Gates almost lost the ball, popped up in the air, but Antonio was able to come down with it. Gain of 5, and it'll be 3rd down and let's call it 4, gain of 4 yards.
Just a play where you try and control the pass rush a little bit, pick up 5, but Gates really loose with the ball here, tried to make a move. Lucky that Jonathan Casillas didn't get that thing out of there. You see like a globetrotter move there. You're going to whip it around his back or something like Meadowlark.
Yeah, Gates was a great basketball player.
His first love.
Yeah, that's what he said. 3rd and 4. Donald Brown is now in the backfield. And Rivers stepping up, and he's going to get taken down from behind. So looking for the first down. He'll come up short. Rob Ninkovich, who was in on almost every defensive play. He's played more percentage of snaps than any defensive lineman for any team in the league this year, gets the sack.
Rob Ninkovich so many times has to do the dirty jobs outside, jamming tight ends and receivers, but you could see Fluker looking inside, and by the time he came back to Ninkovich, it was too late. That is the protection issue that San Diego has on the right side with DJ Fluker.
I think the sack way, he actually was past the line of scrimmage, so it goes as a rush. And then Cyphers has that punt blocked and out of bounds at the 25-yard line. Brandon Bolden came through, and then Cyphers is not only the guy who gets the punt block, but as you can see, hurt on the play, and he is a huge part of the whole San Diego situation.
Right out here on the edge. And then Cyphers is going to take the shot. Huge play by Bolden, but it is the follow through and the whip around. And you don't have backup punters on the team.
Double whammy, block punt, and he's hurt. Well, as we come back, Cyphers is still down on the grass here at Qualcomm Stadium. He really took a shot, had the punt blocked, 9 career blocked punts. He's been one of the best in the league for years, but obviously in agony right now. We just have to assume that The backup would, as it normally is the place kicker, and that would be Nick Novak. There he is on the sideline, and obviously he is warming up to do just that when needed. He's never had a punt in the league, and we go back to Bolden getting around Donald Brown.
Now Donald Brown, a running back, you'd think in protection would be a little bit better than that. A huge play by Bolden, got there immediately and then confident enough to go for it. Contact obviously doesn't matter, and you could see Cypress lands on his head and his shoulder, and he was rubbing his neck a little bit, so we'll wait to find out exactly what's going on, but he is uncomfortable.
And he, as I mentioned, such a huge part of this team and has been for years. He had a night in a playoff game against Indianapolis that Tony Dungy will never forget. I think it was Tony's last game when he was the horse trailer player of the game, doing that game with John Madden. And how often do you see a punter as the MVP in a playoff game? But that's what he did that night against the Colts. And so they're going to wrap him up and then put him on the cart and take him back, and the Patriots have the ball first down and 10 at the 25-yard line.
I think Brandon Bolden went out to check on him too in a nice gesture of sportsmanship. Obviously just playing hard, nothing dirty about that at all. We were watching him in practice, and he just you can't believe how high and how far that ball can go. Of course, if Phillip Rivers and this offense can keep it going, maybe not so needed.
Well, that's not bad. A little wink and a nod.
Saying I'm the punter.
Yeah.
Well, those guys are in vulnerable positions. We always talk about the unprotected players and how the league tries to make sure they're protected, and it's a nice hand here. Long-time veteran, he's been a great player for him.
Yeah, he's been with the team as long as Gates has. In fact, in the draft in 2003, Cypress went in the 5th round, then Gates didn't go at all. He signed Antonio as a free agent.
How'd that work out?
Interesting. Well, here's Brady now. 5.5 to go. You got Devlin in at fullback. First time they used a fullback in the game. And send Blunt through the middle. And he still charges ahead for 6 yards. Even after contact, he is so tough.
Yeah, that's the difference. That's what he brings, especially when we get into this cold weather. I mean, he was hit at about the 2-yard mark. And then here he is, and now let's see how far he goes after that. I mean, that's another 5 yards after contact. That wins you championships.
From the 19 on 2nd and 4, he goes again, and this time they wrap him up at the 18-yard line. So the Chargers again keeping their own territory. They've been able to stop a couple of third down plays, thirds and goals. This is going to be a 3rd down and 3 now from the 18-yard line. Then the Chargers just making wholesale changes. Brady allowing them to do that by huddling.
You get Corey Leggett back in the game, number 94, their best pass rusher. I think I'd be looking out right now for Melvin Ingram, though.
The Chargers number 54 has been all over the place. 3rd and 3, and Brady stepping up, and Brady's going to pick up the first down as he takes the ball to the 14-yard line. So everybody is covered, but Tom hoofs it himself for a first down.
One of the problems, quite frankly, going to take a wide path and leave Brady that lane. It's 3rd and very short. You don't expect him to pull the ball down. They had Corey Leggett drop back in his own, and it was Brady just took what was there. Very competitive guy. Saves those runs for when they're needed most, but that was a prime example when it was needed most.
Flowers now is on Gronkowski. Edelman on the right side and looking left, and that's caught for a touchdown. So you've got Flowers going out there on Gronkowski as they change up. Flowers is 5'9" and 187, and the Gronk is 6'6" and 265. Touchdown.
What an interesting throw. It wasn't high. It was a line shot. You got a guy who is about 5'9" against a guy about 6'6", didn't try and throw it high, just threw it right through his helmet. Brandon Flowers' helmet almost, and it was just too easy. Tried to get the push off, but that is just a monster player, and he is the first one in the race to 10, right? You got a little friendly competition going on with Antonio Gates. 4th season now with 10 touchdown catches, and for Gates, it'll be his 4th.
And there was the graphic. The extra point is good, so the block punt gives them a short field. And in they go for their first touchdown of the night to make it a 1-point game with 3:28 to the half.
This is Sunday night.
And back we come now to San Diego. Most seasons with 10 or more touchdown catches by a tight end. Gronkowski now with 4. Gates with a chance to make it 4 with his next one. And Tony Gonzalez had 3 such seasons in his illustrious career.
Isn't it amazing? Tony Gonzalez, as great a player as he was, only did that 3 times, and now Gronk already has 4.
Yeah, you would have thought a little bit more, but Chris Davis now with the run back from deep in the end zone. Chris Davis, a rookie, gets taken down by Logan Ryan, and we go back to Gronkowski's touchdown.
Great look here. Does Gronkowski push off with that right arm? Typically, if the elbow stays bent, they're not calling it unless you get fully extended with that arm, a stiff arm like action. It usually does not get called. I thought that was a good no call. This is turning into some game, huh?
But San Diego now minus its punter, and Cypress back in the locker room is also their holder. So you got dual issues. And right now they start from the 17-yard line. And Rivers to the outside, and then cutting back inside as Malcolm Floyd gets around Browner, picks up the first down for San Diego. And there is Eric Weddle, who does just about everything, and he is practicing holding. You saw Novak, who's the place kicker, who was practicing punting before.
He's not practicing shaving that beard, though, is he?
On a delay here with a flag coming in from behind Ryan Matthews.
Holding, number 78 offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Chad Reinhardt, who is the left guard.
Well, Chad got his left arm out around the shoulder pad there and just didn't let him go in time. But I mean, now it does get a little dramatic, doesn't it? You get backed up in your own end zone possibly here, and now without your punter, you have to be a little more aggressive with this play call.
Patriots are also extremely proficient in the last 2 minutes of a half, scoring more points than any team in the league when you get under 2. First and 20 now from the 18-yard line. Blitz coming, Collins coming through and takes care of Rivers. Coming right through, you can see him, comes up to the line. Again, they don't block him. And it's a big sack of 9 yards.
Yeah, no mystery on that one. He just got Chris Watt that time. Jamie Collins. One good thing that's come out of this season, especially without Chandler Jones, their best pass rusher, is that they've had to develop some of these other guys. And Hightower and Jamie Collins now have taken on a bigger role as pass rushers. And as you can see, they're pretty good.
Collins' second sack. New England takes a timeout.
I think Phillip thinks that Chris Watt messed it up. In reality, he did not. He just got beat.
Yep. Chandler Jones, who is a great pass rusher himself, but he's been out with a hip injury
since October 16th, and he is 4.5 sacks. And this is a different defense when he is on the field, because he's the guy that can get that singular pressure. Now the pressure comes more from guys in blitz situations like we've seen from Jamie Collins tonight.
So second and 29. New England only has one timeout, but that hardly matters at this point because you get the 2-minute warning. They're backed up. They don't have a punter. Meanwhile, now you got Matthews going to the outside. Flag is thrown to the 19-yard line. He goes. Arrington with a little push there.
Boy, if that's a trip, that's an automatic first down, and that gets him out of the hole. And Belichick is going to lose his tan on that one.
Tripping.
Yes.
Number 25 defense. 10-yard penalty to the end of the run, automatic first down.
Wow, that's Arrington, and that takes a 2nd and 29 and makes it a 1st and 10.
Here's what you see. He tried to trip him. I don't think there's any question about it. And that third corner slot has really been an issue right now for the New England Patriots. We saw it in Green Bay, and Matthews limps off, and that's the reason it's illegal.
Patriots giving up a ton of first downs on penalties this season. 39 now. It's about 3 a game. Going down to the 2-minute warning, and that is the 2-minute warning right there. So first down from the 29-yard line when we come back to San Diego. 14-13 Chargers on Sunday Night Football. Coming up at halftime, Seahawks, they're rolling. Here come the champs. Beat the Eagles today. Steelers get 25 points in the 4th to knock off the Bengals. Bob and Hines will weigh in on the first half coming up on the Toyota halftime. So San Diego now at its 29. Donald Brown is in the backfield. And they back off after showing blitz, and Rivers is going to still wind up, almost getting blitz, and then he tries to dump it forward, and he was across the line of scrimmage. It's an incomplete pass. Incomplete pass. Just behind it, actually. Otherwise, it would have been a fumble. Wilfork and Ayers come up there to put the heat on. Dangerous.
Yeah, it looked like Donald Brown assumed that Rivers was running the ball, and then he turned around and just sort of flipped it to him. Pretty good play, though, by Rivers just to avoid that sack. But this is a really interesting part of the game right now because of that punting situation. You got to milk this clock a little. You don't want to give Brady too much time if you do have to punt it here, too. There's definitely some strategy to this now.
2nd and 10. And he dumps it off this time, Brown. And Brown will go out of bounds up at the 35-yard line. And upcoming is a key 3rd down. It'll be 3rd and 4.
I don't think I would have been so worried about stopping the clock on that one.
Right.
I think I would have said, okay, if we get this first down, I still have 2 timeouts. I don't have an issue.
Exactly. And inside 2 minutes of the first half, and of course 5 minutes in the second half, the clock stops after an out-of-bounds play and does not restart until the snap. 3rd and 5. Showing blitz again. Rivers rolling, looking, under heat, and then just throws it toward the line of scrimmage and incomplete. So they do their job defensively. Rivers going over things with Levy. It didn't take very much time off the clock. Still 140.
Revis on the other side, and he's been getting it done all night long. But that time, the guy who had the issue with the trip, it was Kyle Arrington in coverage right there that did the job. That's where they were trying to go with that pick play. He jumped right through the pick that time and probably saved his own hide by making sure they didn't get anything going on that drive.
Novak, 7 years in the league. Here's his first punt. And it's a short one. Fair catch called for.
What a great play by Belichick to put Amendola right there, knowing it was going to be short, not letting that thing bounce around down there. Called the fair catch.
Fair catch after 27 yards. Sunday Night Football brought to you by DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you have to get DirecTV. By the new Samsung Galaxy Note 4, the next big thing is here. By your local Lexus dealer and their pursuit of perfection. And by AT&T, mobilizing your world. Yesterday morning, the Marines and Sunday Night Football bus on the annual party at the pier, benefiting the Toys for Tots program. New England 1 timeout, a ton of time. 92 seconds, ball at the 39, start on the ground, and Vereen gets taken down at the line of scrimmage. It's Weddle lurking up near the line of scrimmage to make the tackle. 2nd and 9.
Eric Weddle does a little bit of everything for this team. They'd love to leave him back in the middle of the field, but so dynamic around the line of scrimmage.
And Brady, that might have been deflected, and it's Melvin Ingram who came in.
No doubt.
Incomplete, 3rd down and 9.
I mean, they now are lining him up inside. And we see this with a lot of defenders. You're working against Ryan Wendell, goes right around him and gets Brady's arm. Now this is when typically you see out of the Chargers some kind of blitz. When you get in third and anything above 6, usually they've got something special lined up for you.
3rd down and 9. Well, they're only going to send 4, and then it's going to be caught by Gronkowski. And Weddle's able to make the tackle to stop. It would have been a very long game, but he does get the 1st down. Clock keeps rolling under a minute.
That's called big guy getting leverage on a little guy. Once Brady saw that positioning, he knew immediately where he was going.
You got Gronk in the slot to the right. You got Brady thrown to the left, and the pass is underthrown and incomplete. Then for LaFell, you got a flag down. Sharice Wright covering.
Pass interference, number 29 defense. 1st down, spot of the foul.
It's a really good job by LaFell. I mean, Wright had his back turned. If the receiver turns and makes an effort back towards the quarterback to get the ball at all, which he's doing, that is a foul. And Tom Brady is getting hit from all angles. Corey Legent back in the game with a big shot there.
So 44 seconds, the ball at the 32 for New England. And a little dump off to Vereen. And that's a 1st down, and Vereen gets spilled at the 19-yard line. Brady wants to conserve that timeout.
I tell you, a die may have just saved a touchdown on that one. They had 3 blockers in front. He split them all and made that tackle.
From the 18-yard line, Brady, and that underthrown. Under pressure that time, 18 seconds.
Watch number 37, a die, come right through all those offensive linemen and just send them over the top. I tell you, Dye's already had a major impact on this game. Had a concussion, sat out 3, came back against the Ravens, and they love his energy. They love, he goes and hits everybody, and we're starting to see it out here. He's had a big impact on this game.
2nd and 10 already clearly in field goal range. Also, the Patriots will get the ball when we start the 2nd half. 2nd and 10, and Brady throwing, it's intercepted at the 3-yard line. Huge play. Manti Te'o intercepts it as Brady goes to the ground.
Te'o on Gronkowski going out this way. And Brady just underthrows this one, doesn't put any air underneath it. And how many times have we seen Manti Te'o, the ball finds him? It did at Notre Dame, it is here with the Chargers. And now that they're getting all their weapons back, this Chargers defense starting to make plays, and Brady knows that was a giveaway.
Boy, they have made a ton of big stops in this game. 2 3rd and goals. Then they gave up the touchdown after the block punt to short field. And a big interception. Otherwise, New England probably takes the lead on at worst a field goal, and they get the 2nd half kickoff. Instead, Rivers will take a knee, and San Diego will go to the locker room with the lead. End of a very entertaining 1st half. 14-13 Chargers. And coming up next, it'll be the Toyota halftime right after these messages from your NBC station. Loose, and it is picked up and run back by San Diego. Looking left, and that's caught for a touchdown.
That is just a monster player.
Nationwide is on your side.
2nd half, San Diego 14-13, Chargers on top by 1. Mike Cyphers, the punter, left the game in the 2nd quarter. Block punt, shoulder injury. A sack, 2 takeaways, and a return touchdown for that Charger defense. Patriots offense, 1 touchdown on 4 red zone drives. So the San Diego D has been able to stiffen. 3 receptions, 60 yards, 10th TD catch of the season for Gronkowski. Al Michaels with Chris Collinsworth, Michelle DeFoya. Sunday Night Football. The Patriots won the toss before the game and deferred, so they will get the second half kickoff, and that's Danny Amendola standing at the goal line. San Diego had huge issues last week kicking off with Novak. Very few touchbacks. Now, of course, Novak is not only the place kicker, he's going to be the punter for the rest of the game. And this is a returnable ball, a yard in as Amendola gets taken down. Good tackle in the open field there, Darryl Stuckey, and we go to Michelle.
Well, Mike McCoy just told me Mike Cyphers is out for the game, so Nick Novak will continue to punt. His punt in the first half was the first time he had punted in a game since high school. Other than that, they want to tackle better, they want to stop the run, and McCoy said, we just have to do whatever it takes to win this game. As for Bill Belichick, he just had one thing to say to me, Al, we turned the ball over twice.
Thank you, Michelle.
Sounds like our production meeting.
Well, tell me about it. From the 19-yard line, we're on to wherever they're going next week. We're on to Foxborough. From the 19-yard line, Brady, play action. That buys him some time, and then he has to dump it off underneath. Short pass caught by Blunt. And we'll go back and take a look at Ingram's first half.
We saw everything from Melvin Ingram in that first half. We saw speed, we saw power right over Nate's shoulder. Comes back and almost knocks him out on this run play. And then a little bit of the finesse game. A little wiggle inside on Omenawinui to make another big play, that time on LeGarrette Blount. He has come out. I think his hip is feeling better.
And Brady throwing. It's a low pass, but reaching down, making the grab. Gronkowski takes a bunch of guys to stop him. He's a little short of the first down. 3rd and a deuce.
You know, you see so many times with the Patriots is they get all these different personnel groups in there, and they'll put 3 tight ends and a big back end, and you say, okay, they're going to try and pound the ball. Then they spread you out, and defensively you go, okay, hold on, just check cover 2 and then they hit you with those little passes over the middle. So they use your knowledge against you, what you think they're going to be in personnel-wise.
Devlin, the fullback. Blunt is the running back. They need a yard. And Blunt is not going to get it. Gets hit. You never know when the play is over with this guy. He just keeps those legs going, but all of the Chargers get there as one, and the San Diego defense gets a 3 and out on the first drive of the second half.
Former Cowboy right there, Sean Lismore, going to take the rookie center and take him right back in the backfield. Blunt did a nice job getting off of it, but by that point all his mates were there and no first down. Great start for San Diego.
Brian Allen is the punter. Eddie Royal is back to receive it. New England's first punt of the game. The left-footed kicker sends it inside the 25 and calling for the fair catch, but then having to let it go was Royal, and it goes all the way down to the 13-yard line. And San Diego has the ball.
Two great quarterbacks, two very different throwing motions. Tom Brady, of course, we've seen it many times, sort of the classic straight up over the top kind of delivery. And Phillip Rivers a little bit more 3/4 sidearm. Both of them get it out, complete a lot of passes, but that throwing motion couldn't be a whole lot different.
Crayola carton.
With the little sharpener in the back.
Right. Now you've got Oliver starting at running back here, and he gets taken down by Collins. Ryan Matthews, their #1 back, had come out, and then he was jogging behind the Charger bench trying to work something out. There he is, so he would be in there. He was, remember, kicked by Kyle Arrington. Turned out to be a huge penalty. But now he's out of the game for the moment. Patriots crowd the line of scrimmage on a 2nd and 12. And a little pass that's not caught by Oliver, so Rivers trying to get rid of it in a hurry, and it's 3rd down and 12.
Well, yeah, they keep showing all this double-A blitz stuff where they're trying to get somebody on either side of the center. They've been having some issues, young center in there, so why not? So you just send them out of the backfield because these two guys are the ones that are supposed to be covering the back coming out, and they just can't get there. But when you miss the pass, it doesn't help.
Donald Brown comes in as the 3rd down back. And from the 11-yard line, Rivers dumps it over the middle, caught by Brown, and Brown will be forced out of bounds before he can pick up the 1st down at the 20-yard line. So now again, here comes a punt. The first punt from Novak was 27 yards, and we'll see where. Well, Edelman is going to go back there. Last time Amendola was back, and Edelman is now back at the 25-yard line. So he's in a conventional spot. Amendola was up earlier on the last punt.
There and ran back on the last one. There he goes again.
Yeah, just in case.
Short kick, fair catch. Gonna do it again.
Yeah.
Really well coached.
Yep. Doesn't even have the fair catch. He just makes the catch on the run and gets taken down at the 48-yard line after a 33-yard boot. What's more stressing, the importance of this game? Denver wins today 10-3. If New England wins, they're 10-3. They would still be number 1 because they'd already have beaten Denver. Indy would be the 3 seed, Cincy 4. They're the standings in this division, with San Diego trying to go to 9-4, and they play Denver here next week. KC loses to Arizona today, dropping to 7-6. Now from the 48-yard line, Brady this time under pressure again, and the pass is incomplete. Putting the heat on through the middle, Corey Legic, 2nd down and 10.
Came out and showed that big set again, 2 tight ends, looking for Gronkowski going down the middle. See all these guys over here. Looks like a run set, Blunt in the backfield. But San Diego knew that anytime LeGarrette Blunt was in there, if they were going to throw the ball, that's exactly what they were going to do. Sort of those 2-man routes, faking the run fake inside.
Baker stays with Edelman, who lines up in the right slot. There's Blunt. And again, takes a whole bunch of guys, helmets flying off to stop him. It'll be 3rd down. 3rd down and about, let's see where they spot the ball, 6.
There's a lot of man right there, and it's cost Jonas Gray a lot of playing time. Shane Vereen now has become sort of just the 3rd down back. You kind of get the feeling that's the direction they're going to be going as they head into the playoffs here.
Blunt on the sideline, Vereen in the game.
White Freeney in there, who comes in as a pass rush specialist.
And the Chargers, everybody standing up and then knock it down over the middle. They do it again. Jerry Achu makes the block.
Nice job by Jerry Achu there. Knew he wasn't going to get there, just gets his eye on the quarterback and knock it down. That's a huge play because this defense, no doubt, is going to be under stress all night long now because of the punting situation. And that is 2 straight, I think, 3 and outs to start this half.
Right, Atachu, a rookie out of Georgia Tech. Boy, the 2 punts really flipped the field. A 60-yarder for New England, a 33-yarder for San Diego, and a fair catch here by Keenan Allen, still looking for his first catch of the night on offense at the 10-yard line, 14-13. From San Diego, we go to the East Coast next week to Philadelphia. What a game this is going to be. Sunday Night Football, Cowboys-Eagles. Cowboys win on Thursday night in Chicago. Football night starts at 7 o'clock Eastern time. Seattle knocks off Philly today, and there are the standings in the NFC East. Ryan Matthews is in the game now, and he's able to get out of the backfield, but just barely. So it's amazing the way these things are shaping up right now. Next week, Philly, Dallas. We've got Seattle, Arizona in 2 weeks. Arizona with a big win today, and down the stretch we come.
You know, Dallas really caught a break today with Philly losing at home, which now sets it up for a little bit of a winner-take-all. Not many games left in the season, but certainly Dallas has to win because Philly has one in hand, winning in Dallas on Thanksgiving.
A lot of crazy stuff. Heading to closing day, which will be December the 28th, 3 weeks from tonight. Second down and 12 now. San Diego with a pass to the outside, caught by Antonio Gates, setting up a third down and short. We were talking to Gates the other day. He really wanted to play basketball. He said, you know, it's like there's one girl who wants you and then you want the girl. So, you know, I wanted basketball. I wanted that girl, but that girl didn't want me.
The other girl wanted me more. Right. You know, he just we were sitting there listening like, where is this going to go? And then we're all checking with Michelle. Is that okay? Can we tell that story? We okay?
Right. We just told it. Third down and 2 at the 18-yard line. Bunch the 3 receivers to the left. And Rivers is going to get sacked at the 10-yard line by Rob Ninkovich. Another very timely sack for the Patriots.
This is what happens. You go here, these guys all have to come down, and then Ninkovich gets a free run off the edge. But Rivers has to know that. That's his. Anytime both those guys came on either side of that center, he has to know that guy off the edge is going to be unblocked.
So Novak now, it's that same formation. Amendola short, Edelman deeper. This will be the best of his kicks so far. The 44, and that's Edelman, and the coverage is very good. Tackling him right there, Darryl Studney, special teams star. 45-yard punt. He's getting better and better. And this drive begins with a penalty. Bill Levy.
Number 63 offense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Dan Connolly. So 2 3-and-outs for New England, but you begin to wonder how much more pressure can be put on the San Diego defense. And look at the average drive start tonight, but New England unable to really capitalize on much of that, except for that 1 touchdown march, which started at the San Diego 25.
Yeah, give credit to John Pagano's squad here. I mean, even in those trips to the red zone, only 1 touchdown, and 4 other tries, and so far to start the second half, been even better than that, haven't even gotten to the red zone.
And Brady spins around Gronkowski now, and getting a little bit of help is Gatchkar. He had him first. Get some help from his friends. A little short pass right there. It's a loss of 6 yards, making it second down and 21.
Gatchkar missed the game against Baltimore with a knee injury, but that was clever for a young player figuring that one out. Came with a tight end screen, and boy, I tell you, you say the Chargers are under siege, but right now they have this Patriot offense moving backwards.
Second and 21. 4-man rush. Brady throws to the 40, goes Verween. And that's going to make it third down and 14.
It was just interesting talking to some of the guys on the Patriots, and they said it's like watching a tape of a preseason game when you play San Diego. Everybody plays. I mean, it is everybody on the field has some role in John Pagano's defense.
And they keep rolling guys in and out all game long. Brady rarely using the hurry up, the no huddle tonight. Third and 14. And Tom throwing on the run, and that's incomplete, intended for LaFell and broken up by Sharice Wright. So a third consecutive 3-and-out for New England.
Well, on the outside, they're trying to go after Sharice Wright. That's exactly what their plan was, to throw a little bit behind him. And one of the issues, a little bit of problem with the protection tonight. So even their best receiver in that situation, Gronkowski, had to chip on the edge.
Here's Allen now, punting to Keenan. Allen, who takes it at the 11-yard line. And gets taken down at the 18. So again, San Diego starts deep in its own territory. 6:44 to go in the third. A 1-point game. Just as we went to commercial, that man, Brian Timms, was flagged for a personal foul. Whether he pushed somebody or said something, but they threw the flag, and that gives San Diego 15 yards and takes them from the 18 to the 33-yard line to start this drive.
You know, the league talked about having a few magic words you couldn't say, and then they said, no, you can't do that. And whatever it was that Tim said was enough to cross the threshold there.
So the Chargers have it at the 33. Matthews is the running back. Rivers tonight. It's over the middle. It was Ladarius Green, the tight end, making the catch. Hit. Lost the ball. Into the air it goes. McCourty winds up with it, and we'll see about the run back.
He was bobbling the football, and then it was Browner who came across and just went right to the head and neck area as far as I could see.
Interception, personal foul. Helmet to helmet hit, number 39 of the defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Whoa, what a call that is on Browner. So here's the play with the catches not, well, Green doesn't have control of it.
Yeah, you can see Browner get his head out of there, or try to. Hits him with a shoulder in the chest area.
And Green is still down. The guy they call Pee-wee at 6'6" and 240.
You could see a little glancing blow of the helmet, but that wasn't the main thrust of that. Browner's saying, I tried to get my head out of there.
Gigantic call. San Diego ball.
And the debate rages on.
So that negates the interception and gives San Diego the ball at the 49-yard line. Blitz coming. Rivers has to throw a dart to Matthews, who gets it across the midfield stripe, tackled there by Ninkovich.
You know, it's so difficult, and Browner, obviously, we've talked about his penalties, but the ball was being bobbled in that situation. And as a defensive back, your tendency is to go for the ball. So now your hands and your head and everything is up there. You could see him try to get his head out of there, hit him with the shoulder, but he was still too high for the contact, I suppose.
Here's Matthews. Can he get around? No, he can't. He tries to go to the outside. Arrington comes up. The situation with Green is he's a defenseless receiver, and it's a blow to the head is basically what that call was. He's defenseless in the minds of the official. Take a look again.
There's no doubt he's defenseless, but you can see Browner trying to get his head out of there and hitting him with the shoulder, but he was so high, I think sort of the follow-through ended up getting up underneath the chin, and it was as much as anything, they don't get all these slow-mos, the snapping of the head going backwards, I think swayed the officials. But I do think at the end of the day, that was the right call.
3rd and 12. Royal has not caught a pass tonight. Allen has not caught a pass tonight. And now the pass is caught on a big 3rd down reception by Eddie Royal. Just got finished saying their #1 receiver had not caught a pass tonight. That's Allen, and Royal was the #3. He caught 43 coming into the game, and that's his first right here.
Well, Arrington is the guy, along with all the other third-string quarterbacks a week ago that got picked on, and there's another big first down. So this drive has had a little dose of everything. A personal foul, and now a 3rd down conversion.
Gain of 22. Now Rivers, and Floyd tries to adjust. A flag is thrown.
This is going to be interesting.
Very interesting. Who pushed who?
I think they're going to call this one on Floyd.
Yeah, you saw Floyd's reaction.
Pass interference. Number 80 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Floyd had to do this because Browner was getting himself in position to make this interception. A little contact down the field. You really could have made arguments either way. Who knows anymore? You can get away with more contact in the NBA than the NFL anymore. So everybody's trying to figure it out.
I told you last year they wrote a book about pass interference, right? 50 Shades of Grey. Making it into a movie.
Even slowed down and watching it 100 times, it's hard to call.
First and 20 at the 42. Rivers fires over the middle, and that's going to be picked off at the 30-yard line by Akeem Ayers.
Never saw him, did he? Akeem Ayers is going to be freed up right over here, going to drop back, and Rivers never sees him. He's looking for some kind of man coverage, and that's one of the dangers when you have those pass rusher type guys that fall under coverage. You just don't see them. And something balancing almost about that interception. All the crazy things that get him down there, and all for naught.
Now from the 30, New England still looking for its first down of the half. Is their fourth possession. Running back is Blunt. He goes to the outside. Boy, that San Diego D has done a great job on him tonight. Loss of 3, second down.
They're just not able to overwhelm the edge. And so many times when you see the Patriots have a lot of success, they can just overwhelm the edge. And now Dwight Freeney, and we've seen Ingram, and these guys now are just going to work on these two tackles and containing that stretch play. And so much of this offense runs off of that.
Second and 12. And pass to Gronkowski. Brendan Flowers makes the stop, and again a third down. Still trying to get that first down of the second half at 3:49 remaining in the third quarter.
I tell you, some big acquisitions and trades. Akeem Ayers came over. Jonathan Casillas, who's playing tonight, really made a difference for this Patriots defense.
Third and 6. That's Weddle coming outside on Gronkowski at the bottom of the screen. Brady looking in that direction, and the pass is incomplete. So he looked for Gronk. Gronk lined up with Weddle. They've been moving guys in and out against Gronkowski tonight. It's a fourth consecutive 3 and out for the Pats.
This is just great by Weddle. He knew exactly where it was coming, got his head around. And we haven't seen Brady yet throw one up in the air. He's been throwing these darts to the back shoulder, and the Chargers have done a nice job playing it. Let's see if they adjust and get some height on one and give him a chance to go up over the top.
Ryan Allen to punt. Keenan Allen back for San Diego. High booming kick. Keenan Allen makes the catch and gets tackled immediately by Brian Timms. And once again, a long field for Rivers. Well, Donald Trump is back. What would happen if you put Geraldo Rivera, Vivica A. Fox, and Terrell Owens in the room together? Well, you'll see it on the new season of Celebrity Apprentice that premieres January the 4th, 2015, right here on NBC.
Played a little golf with the Donald, haven't you?
A little bit. Yeah. It's always good to be his partner. You'll be richer at the end of the day.
Some player, huh?
Right. Not bad. Actually pretty good. Don't get me in trouble now.
You do that well enough on your own.
Tell me about it. From the 10. Brandon Oliver starts in the backfield. It's Collins coming up to the line that he backs off. Rivers underneath and incomplete. Second down.
No doubt the star of this game so far defensively has been Jamie Collins. He also took on the duty of having to call the defensive signals, but he has just been inspired tonight. Comes through unblocked there to come up with a sack, but his speed and athleticism, he's just been all over the field. And Chris Watt that time unfortunately had to try and block him one-on-one. I think as he develops as a pass rusher, this guy could end up being one of those 7 to 10 sacks per year kind of guys.
Well, Revis, bottom of the screen, doing some job on Allen, who's been blank tonight. Rivers throwing, and Floyd is able to adjust, lose his helmet. Chung says no. The officials confer. And for the moment, they're going to call it a catch.
Well, this is big on big with these two guys going at it. looked like he had it. I didn't see any sort of bobble.
Nope. 29 yards. They want to get up to the line of scrimmage before any challenge.
Well, it bobbles, but it never touches the ground. I don't think Belichick will challenge that one.
Well, that's why San Diego gets up there in a hurry, even though the point of the ball looked like it may have touched the grass at the 38-yard line. Rivers throwing inside, and that's the first catch of the night for Keenan Allen, the second-year receiver out of the University of California.
Well, Keenan Allen with 11 catches against the Ravens, and this is the first, is that right?
Yep.
Of the night here, and we kind of had a little inclination of that. Rivers was telling us, hey, you know, I think Darrelle Revis is the best corner there is, and our guy is pretty good. But I don't know how many times I'm going that way, but Keenan Allen had a couple of fumbles against the Rams a few weeks ago, and it seemed to wake him up a little bit. Sharper in practice, sharper in the game last week, and Phillip Rivers was impressed.
Now Rivers backs off a little bit. He had been playing mainly press coverage on Allen, bottom of the screen. Inside handoff goes to Oliver, and he gets whacked immediately. Goes absolutely nowhere. That's Alan Branch, signed in October. Makes the tackle.
Yeah, you go in there as a running back, and you look, and there's Alan Branch and Vince Wilfork in there, and you go, why don't we throw the ball here? Well, here comes in Dominic Easley now, who is taken over basically for Chandler Jones, drafted with a knee injury. He's had knee problems throughout. They really need him to step up while Chandler Jones is out.
1 minute left in the quarter. 3rd and 8. Rivers to the outside, juggled and incomplete. McCourty is right there. Gates couldn't hang on. 4th down.
Well, Devin McCourty was a corner. They converted to safety. Nice move there by Gates. The ball probably underthrown a little bit. McCourty able to get his hands in there. And these two high-flying quarterbacks have not been able to get anything done here in this second half.
All right, now Novak. Again, Cyphers got hurt. Out for the game. Amendola short. Edelman long. And this is a pretty good punt here. His last one was 45. So the run back here to the 25-yard line, but at least Novak, that time 51-yard punt. Let's go to Michelle.
Well, Al, nothing official yet on Chargers tight end Ladarius Green. He did go back to the locker room after getting attention from every member of the medical staff. Most of what was going on the bench was conversation, trying to talk to him. He looked very dazed as he got up. He hugged Phillip Rivers and Antonio Gates as he left the bench area without his helmet. He remains in the locker room, status unknown, Al.
All right, thank you, Michelle. And now the Patriots, 4 possessions, 4 3-and-outs in the quarter. 38 seconds till we go to the 4th. First down from the 25. And Brady hangs in there, throws into traffic, and Gronk makes the catch and picks up 8 yards.
I'll tell you, Nate Solder out there on that left side, he was under siege early in the half, but here in the second half, that seems to have settled down a little bit. The tackle right there, he's been a little quicker off the mark, getting out there, and that time controlling Ingram.
Second down, long one. Gronkowski is now caught 7 for 77. There's his 8th. And Gronk out to the 43-yard line. That's going to take us to the 4th. End of 3. San Diego 14, New England 13. Sunday Night Football continues after these messages. 14-13, Chargers on top. And we start with a first down for New England at its own 43. And Jonas Gray is the running back. Fake it to him, give it to Edelman. And Edelman is somehow able to sneak out of the backfield to the 47-yard line. And we'll take a look at the QB comparison tonight. Neither guy, Chris, lighting it up.
No, they're not. And they've missed some relatively easy throws for these two guys. And I think a lot of the pressure, a lot of the hits have had an impact on them. The other part of this thing is neither team has been able to run the football this half. I think New England has 1 yard before that play, and San Diego was -11. So it has just fallen to these quarterbacks now, and now the pass rusher is starting to tee up.
And a scoreless third quarter. After San Diego got 14 in the second. And Brady to the outside, and that'll be caught by LaFell, who dances around and is able to pick up the first down at the 45-yard line.
Well, we've seen a lot of man coverage out of San Diego. Every once in a while they'll fall back into a zone, but Brady's going to kill them if they try and play zone all night. Their man coverage with their linebackers, Teo's had a nice job. Eric Weddle's done really well considering the assignment that he's had tonight. Gronkowski one-on-one so many different times. So they're going to have to stay aggressive. That the zone's probably not going to be the answer, Eric.
Weddle on Gronk, bottom of the screen. We'll follow him. Comes out of the slot. Brady over the middle, and that is Gronkowski. A flag is down.
Yeah, it looked like, is that Donald Butler? Somebody got knocked down in the middle of the field.
Flag down all the way down to the 29-yard line downfield.
Holding. Number 56 defense. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Yeah, you do not want to foul Michael Omenauanui. He has 3 catches all year. So you're going to foul Gronkowski. All right, I understand that. You got out there, you're in a fist fight with him, but don't give away stuff.
Well put. At the 40-yard line now. I think Belichick wanted to know what the down and distance would have been. It wasn't the first. Bill will take the first down. Ball at the 39-yard line. And Brady back into the shotgun.
Brady adjusted, Manti Te'o adjusted, but here he comes.
There's the blitz, pass to the outside. Great tackle made on Amendola by Marcus Gilchrist, who pays the price as he goes to his knees.
There's Manti Te'o, and they had just gone to the audible. Te'o backed out. Brady said, I don't care. I know you're not that clever. I didn't see you adjust the defense. You just backed up. I know you're still blitzing. I'm going to throw the quick screen out here and try and take advantage of it. There he comes. But just a great play by Gilchrist.
And clock stopped for the moment while they take a look at Gilchrist. Reaching for his back, and he'll go to the sideline for at least one play.
Here's some of the coverage we're talking about. This is a big man coverage team. Weddle on Gronkowski. He's been just annoying as he could be on him. And then Brandon Flowers on Edelman there. Te'o with the big interception against Gronkowski. But it has been that more the man coverage and in their face coverage that you see right now that has worked for this defense.
Second down and 12. And Brady fires over the middle. Edelman makes the catch and has a first down as he moves the ball down to the 26-yard line. Tackled there by Flowers.
Yeah, so what do? They go right to the pick plays or some derivation of it. Try and pick this guy coming over the top with that little rub route there and let their punt returner, Julian Edelman, loose.
Patch at the 27. Blunt back in. And it's Blunt. And boy, they're just smothering him. When he gets the handoff, that's Ingram right there, taking him for a loss.
I'll tell you, this kid is playing one heck of a play now. He's a grown man. Look at the way he's playing right through Gronkowski. Tried to even get a little double team on him. And as big as LeGarrette Blount is, he's not bigger than Melvin Ingram. Melvin Ingram has been a nightmare tonight.
Ingram at 265, Blount listed at 250. Second down and 13 from the 30. Gilchrist is back in. And Brady throws Edelman again to the 20-yard line.
You know, Al, this is an issue right now for San Diego. With Gilchrist going out of the game, remember they play these safeties, and without him, now they're having to bring in the linebacker, a second linebacker right there, Donald Butler, to try and cover Edelman. So now you may have to come out of some of these man coverage situations because you certainly don't want that matchup.
So 3rd and 3. Chargers trying to limit them to at worst a field goal attempt, which would give them the lead. In a 1-point game, 3rd and 3 from the 20. Only a 3-man rush. And then Brady throws, and a bad throw to the outside. Intended for LaFell, covered by Flowers. And once again, that defense does its job.
Watch Flowers right here, not overreact. Out and up, now get your head around. They tried to go back shoulder. And then on the flip side, you've got Solder trying to hold up against Dwight Freeney. Got there just a tad late, but once again, maybe that didn't count as a red zone stop right at the 20, but that is big for San Diego.
38-yard attempt. New England had one lead tonight, 3-0. Allen puts it down, and Gostowski bangs it through. So they get the 3. We have 10.5 to go in the 4th, and New England has the lead by 2 in San Diego. Qualcomm Stadium, almost the Chargers since 1967. Gronkowski getting a little oxygen as New England has taken the lead for the first time since the first quarter. And Gostowski sends a ground ball down to the 5-yard line, where it's picked up there by Donald Brown. And he's taken down by Matthew Slater. Rob Ninkovich talked about how often he is on the field. Never comes up. Tonight, all 43 snaps. Jason Pierre-Paul's been on 90% of the plays. Cameron Jordan at New Orleans, 93. J.J. Watt, 93 among defensive linemen this year. And there's your leader in the clubhouse.
And the long snapper last week had an injury to their long snapper, and he went out there. He said, I've been doing it since I was about 12 years old, but a little different when there were about 70,000 people watching me do it. But like he does everything else perfectly well.
And that New England defense has been doing a great job. Talking about San Diego much of the night, but Rivers having trouble getting stuff started. So a short pass to Gates, taking it out to the 17-yard line, gain of 4, 2nd and 6.
No doubt about it, Al. Matt Patricia's squads held this San Diego offense, and we talked about how good they had been a week ago against a very good Baltimore defense. Only 173 yards, tack on that, maybe 176 on the night, 3 sacks. And they've only given up 1 offensive score to San Diego, the other the fumble return.
Chargers have started only 1 drive from beyond their own 20. And a little dart underneath, but having to reach for it is Allen, and he can't get any momentum going, so he's taken down close to the line of scrimmage.
Now, one of the issues with that sidearm delivery, accuracy pays a little bit of a price here. He tries to throw it around Chris Jones there. Heck of a catch, but the run after the catch is what you're looking for on those crossing routes. Really need something here, don't they? This defense has got to be wearing down for San Diego because their offense can't do anything.
3rd down and 6. Pressure. And then going deep, and way too deep as Eddie Royal was running some other routes. So whatever that was, it's a 4th and 6.
Yeah, and he went away from his bread and butter on that one. Antonio Gates was setting his guy up perfectly, working against McCourty here. Makes a nice little move. He's so efficient at that. There's your first down right there. As soon as the play was over, Gates turned around, put his hands up in the air and said, come on now. We've been doing this a long time.
Now Novak, his last punt, 51 yards, his 5th punt of the night, and this one is average. It takes a nice little hop for him. 37-yard line, flag is thrown, and Edelman gets taken into the San Diego bench.
Did the up back call a fair catch?
Yeah, that's possible. I think that could be the call.
During the return, holding. Number 21 of the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down, timeout.
Malcolm Butler, so that San Diego D will have to do some heavy lifting again. So Josh McDaniels, offense New England, and John Pagano, defense San Diego, matching wits again as New England has it at the 31. Under 9 minutes to go. Brady, play action, throws. Edelman, boy, he's had some quarter, and off he goes, breaking tackles. Julian Edelman all the way to the end zone. 69 yards, broke away from Brandon Flowers to go in for the score.
Same play they've been running to Gronkowski. Now they go to Edelman, little in and out motion. Watch the linebackers react up hard to the play fake, and they're right underneath the safety, Gilchrist. And no way, once the punt returner gets the ball in his hands. But Garrett Blunt in there, everybody's thinking run. Julian Edelman showing up at 6 o'clock in the morning to work on catching the ball, and Nate Solder in the second half has had a bit of a comeback. Much better job this half against Ingram.
Longest reception of Edelman's career. This to make it a 2-possession lead, which Gostowski does. 8:41 remaining in the fourth. New England 23, San Diego 14 on Sunday Night Football. So Edelman, 69 yards, the reception from Brady, throwing a second touchdown pass of the night. Tom now over 300 yards. But for some reason it doesn't seem like it, does it?
Those kind of plays right there help, though.
Yep.
And this is their core play. It really is. Here's Blunt, and these linebackers have to step up or get run over. So as soon as they come up, you'll see all the green space right in behind. There just isn't a way to defend both. When you've got a big back like LeGarrette Blunt in there, you have to honor it. Here's the tried and true play fake. You see Brady looking his eyes all the way in there to fool those linebackers. And then Tom Brady is fired up as he was last week in Green Bay.
Came up a little short last week. He doesn't want that to happen again. And right now, San Diego looking to do something offensively.
And they have not solved this blitz with both linebackers on either side of the center.
Rivers under pressure again, runs into his own guy, dumps it off. Brown makes the catch, and Brown is off to the 44-yard line. So Rivers almost goes down. All kinds of contact. His guys, their guys in the backfield, winds up with a 24-yard gain.
Donald Brown for messing up the punt. This was fantastic. Watch him here. He is going to jump there, then pick up the blitz. He's the guy that allowed Rivers to scramble around, and then what a play by Phillip Rivers to find him.
8 minutes remaining now from the 44. This time Rivers with time, but he runs out of time, and the pass intended for Floyd is incomplete. Akeem Ayers finally got in there to knock Rivers to the ground. 2nd and 10.
I tell you, Donald Brown, after giving up that block punt, is going to come in and smack this blitzing linebacker, Casillas. And that time Rivers had all the time in the world, but down the field, it has been a fantastic night once again for Darrelle Revis. They have avoided him with a reason. Well, Malcolm Floyd made that one big touchdown catch, and we haven't heard a lot from him either.
Boyle, one catch. Allen, one catch. And Rivers, and he's going to get taken down at the 42-yard line. Again, that pocket just collapses on him. Salinga and Chris Jones coming in that time.
Silver Salinga, welcome back. He has had an impact on this game. We saw him with a big play in the run game, and now getting after Rivers there. 3rd and long, and I think now not many answers. Phillip Rivers and company.
Each gets a half sack. That was a 1-yard loss as Rivers went down on the sack. So it's 3rd down and 11. Three-man rush. And what's Rivers going to do? He's going to try to run for the first down. He gets to the 50. McCourty takes him down there. And they're going to send in the, let's see what they're going to send in for the moment. The punt group with 6:45 and ticking down.
You always have to be heads up here now. Eric Weddle back there, we've seen him do a few tricks in his day, and
there he is.
He has a lot of discretion. If he likes a look, he could take a shot here on fourth down.
Number 32 right there. Nope, instead it's Novak. Fair catch called for at the 11-yard line. He's done quite a job. So Amendola makes the fair catch with 6:19 to go in the fourth in a 9-point game. Quite a deal in the AFC. There are your division leaders. Your wild cards at this moment in time would be San Diego and Pittsburgh. And then in the hunt are the 6 teams on the other side. So it's going to be a wild scramble to the finish line. Proceeding for playoff positioning just to get into the playoffs.
Business as usual in the NFL.
All right, Brady starts from the 12-yard line. They have Devlin at fullback. Blunt is the running back. Keep it on the ground, and here's Blunt. He gets blunted once again. I didn't say that.
You did.
Yeah, well, whatever. Somebody came into the booth.
You know, it was interesting talking with Tom Brady about playing for Bill Belichick, and he said, you know, he'll come in the meeting room and he'll say, man, this is a big day. This is a big blanking day today. And, you know, and gets into it. And Tom said, it was like a Wednesday in May. Every day is the biggest day of our lives. And he said, our walkthroughs are longer than most teams practice. And then we practice on top of that. So they pay a heavy price, but they get huge dividends.
Second down and 9. Brady throws, and that'll be caught. And fighting to try to get the first down is Edelman, but he's a little short. So here comes a very important San Diego defensive stop on a 3rd and 2 next.
Julian Edelman just has no fear, does he? He is that guy right there. Josh McDaniels, I think, will be a head coach by the time this season's over. He's qualified. I think he's ready. I think he learned a lot from what happened in Denver.
Shane Vereen is in. Let's see what he dials up here. McDaniels on a 3rd and 2.
I think that's Gronk wide on Weddle, just straight one-on-one play.
And Brady is going to step up and pick up the first down, sliding to a stop at the 26-yard line. So they came to him from the outside. He saw the opening on the inside, picks up the first.
Brady looked away from Gronkowski, but he knew where he was going all the way. Weddle has this completely covered. And Tom Brady, once again, when it matters most, just pulls it down and picks up a first down. This is a very, very competitive guy, and that was big.
And he knows it. 25-yard line. First down, and now San Diego has to think about taking timeouts, but first things first, they got to put him in a tough position as the handoff goes to Blunt. And they will take a timeout here, San Diego. So Brady over there with McDaniels and with Belichick. These guys lost in Green Bay, got on a plane, came out here, so they spent the whole week in Southern California. Rained on them for a couple of days early in the week, but then the weather turned great. Practice at the University of San Diego. And well, what team doesn't say they had a good week of practice?
Who doesn't say they had a good week in San Diego is what I want to know.
Good point.
You know, I mean, you think he's this hard-edged guy and he's only going to do the things the hard way, and he brings his team out here and they respond. So they have the ultimate motivation. You ever want to go to San Diego to practice again, you better win this one.
2nd and 12. 4:02 remaining. Play clock inside 5. And Brady lofts one deep downfield and incomplete. Flag is thrown. Shane Vereen, the intended receiver.
You could see it coming all the way. You've got Shane Vereen out there on Andrew Gatchgar.
Illegal contact. Number 59 defense. 5-yard penalty is down.
So what do? They go to the double move. The linebacker is going to do what he always does, hit the guy, right? Try and keep him out of the end zone. Can't blame him. But after a good first down, and Pagano says, come on. You can't blame Gatchgar. He was in a tough spot, and Brady exploited it.
And so that's a first down with Blunt now. Getting around the corner. Picking up a first down. Staying in bounds as well, as Gilchrist finally brings him down. And the clock will keep rolling.
You know, LeGarrette Blunt, for a guy that big, has some pretty nifty feet as well. He was fairly deep in the hole that time and bounced out all the way around. Look how far he's in here. And now he's able to sort of back up and swing around, and has sprinter speed as well for a guy 250 pounds. He said, I wasn't fast for being from the state of Florida. They had guys in the 100 meters running close to the world record. I'm pretty fast for a 250-pound guy, and he is.
You know, San Diego had a timeout, had to take a timeout even after a first down. They're really in a box right now. They have one, plus a 2-minute warning. They're down 2 possessions. And the New England offense coming to life after a desultory third quarter.
I'll tell you, though, John Pagano has to be proud of his squad. They have been put in some really tough spots here tonight. And really, it's just been the San Diego offense that let them down.
Yep. And on the flip side, you credit that New England defense with Matt Patricia. Here's Blunt stopped after a short gain.
Special teams with a big block.
Yes. Field position for San Diego has been dreadful tonight. Here's the NFC playoff picture here as San Diego takes its final timeout. Arizona wins today, knocks off Kansas City. Green Bay plays tomorrow night. Philly at the moment, same record as Dallas, but would own the tiebreak as they beat them on Thanksgiving. And Atlanta with a 5-7 record would be the division winner if the season ended tonight. Seattle and Detroit would be the wild cards, and Dallas, of course, next week going into Philly on Sunday night. 49ers get beaten by Oakland. New Orleans and Carolina, despite those records, are still in the hunt.
Yeah, that was good news for Dallas and Philadelphia, though. San Francisco getting beat. So that wild card slot look a little easier.
So out of timeouts now, San Diego. That means you can't use a challenge. They stop Blunt at the 50. Legion is there. Brady will now use as much of the clock as he can prior to what's going to be a 3rd down and 10.
I tell you, though, they've done a pretty nice job tonight stopping LeGarrette Blunt in this running game. If you'd have told me this at the beginning of the game, the way that Phillip Rivers and the offense had been playing, I would have thought San Diego had a great shot at winning this thing, but just have not made plays on the offensive side.
Yeah, Blunt 20 carries, 66 yards. That he had the long of 23. Throw that out. 19 carries for 43 yards. They've done a number on him. Now Amendola, and they're going to spill him at the 44-yard line. And that's going to take us pretty close to the 2-minute warning before New England has to do anything with the ball.
Well, they were down 10 a week ago and came back and won, but had a few things working in their favor in that one. This one's going to be tough, especially the way it's been going so far.
Bring in Ryan Allen to pin them deep. And Keenan Allen is standing back at his 10-yard line. And he's going to let it go, and it bounds into the end zone. So a mini break there for the Chargers, who start at the 20 just prior to the 2-minute warning.
I've said it so many times that I almost feel silly doing it, but Darrelle Revis, you're not going to get much against them. Jordy Nelson got the one play last week in that Green Bay game, and it's almost stunning when you see it, but Keenan Allen, one of the really talented young receivers in the game, but I think Phillip Rivers almost talked himself out of that matchup before they came in the stadium, and with good reason.
One time they've tested him. It's like opening night with Richard Sherman this year with Green Bay.
Is he doing the yawning thing?
Right.
Yeah.
And Rivers going deep downfield and incomplete. With double coverage there on Malcolm Floyd. And that takes us to the 2-minute warning in San Diego. New England on top 23-14. All right, after the game, Volkswagen post-game report. Michelle down on the field interviewing the stars of the game. Bob, Tony, and Mike wrap up the game, and a look ahead to next week's great matchup in Philadelphia. Cowboys, Eagles on Sunday night. 2nd down and 10 from the 20-yard line. 20 unanswered points for New England. And Rivers throws and trying to get out of bounds, and he does. He's Eddie Royal, but he's so short of the first down.
And one of the problems when you play New England, if their play total is way more than yours, you're in trouble. And the Patriots live off that 71-52 on the plays now. And once Brady starts controlling the ball, it gets tough. Your defense wears down. I think that's a little bit of what happened here tonight.
3rd and 2, and Rivers trying to keep it alive, but it's a loss. A little flip pass out to Brown, so it's 4th down, and this will do it if they don't convert. So 4th down and 5. Patriots getting ready for the red eye back home, but it's a lot better when you win, obviously, than you go home with a loss. And on this road trip, they'll be 1-1 if they hold on. Here's Rivers, last gasp. And does he get the first down, Gates? He does not.
Nope.
Tavon Wilson is there to stop him. And that's going to turn the ball over to the New England Patriots and send them home with a victory. And keep them right now as the #1 seed in the AFC.
Everybody making a play. Tavon Wilson, who had 4 interceptions during his rookie season in 2012, just put the slammer on this one. And I tell you, they bounce back, don't they, after they get beat? Yep. It is hard to beat them again. It really is. On the road against a good team, playing well, didn't matter. Came in and did the old defensive stomp here.
Yeah, they go home next week. They play Miami at home. Gates slowly getting off. Then at the Jets in Buffalo. So they've got a pretty nice little road to #1. They'll go back. San Diego has to now meet Denver, trailing by 2 games and already having lost to them. And you begin to wonder about San Diego and the San Diego Chargers. A lot of talk about L.A. It's been percolating for a long time. L.A. without a team for 20 years, but it's getting a little warmer right now. And San Diego is one team. Oakland is another. St. Louis is another that can all leave their stadiums next year.
And let's face it, if you want to be perfectly honest, San Diego and Oakland, probably the 2 worst stadiums in the league right now.
Absolutely. St. Louis is pretty close too. But before anybody can do anything, as the Patriots exult, it has to be approved by the league. You have to file for relocation. Would they go to L.A.? There's no stadium there. Will they build one? Maybe. Could you play in the Coliseum or the Rose Bowl temporarily? Maybe. It's only been going on for 20 years. Who knows? I just throw it out there, folks.
Still waiting for your home game.
We don't have any answers. Memorial.
Pretty good stuff tonight, though, by the Patriots. It really was. They came in, and Tom Brady, and they were all disappointed after that Green Bay game, but it looks like that unless somebody surprises them in the last 3, that home field advantage is likely theirs.
Double-digit wins 12 straight years. On their way to another division title, 10-3. Final score is 23-14 New England. Next up, Volkswagen post-game report after these messages from your NBC station.